Roborock currently sells 3 different versions of their Ultra Dock depending on what robot vacuum you want to pair it with. And in this video I'm going to talk about a recent change from Roborock in selling the docks individually. I'm going to talk about each one of these Ultra Docks and tell you what sets them apart. There are unique differences between all 3, even though 2 of them look identical. And I'm going to compare them to the newest from Roborock, the QRevo dock, which has the same basic functionality as the Ultra Docks. And before we get really started into the comparison, I must first say that I reached out to Roborock to confirm that they no longer plan to sell just individual docks. And as far as the new docks go, they are not designed so that you can buy a robot and then later purchase an Ultra Dock like we were able to do with the S7 MaxV. One of the questions that get asked on my channel a lot is this robot compatible with this dock and vice versa? And the answer really is no. When I take a robot like the S7 MaxV and I put it on the S7 Max's dock, the only thing I can get it to do is charge. All the other functions like washing the mop and doing an auto empty just simply don't work. It will only charge. And then there is the QRevo. Unfortunately, they are not going to sell the dock separately. It is only going to be the robot and the dock. Now, all of these docks have the same basic functionality. Each one of them has the ability to empty out the robot's internal dustbin, wash the mopping pads, and refill the onboard water tank. The Ultra Docks have one additional feature, which is they have a self-cleaning ability. All 4 of these in front of me have the ability to also dry the mopping pad, but the S7 MaxV Ultra didn't originally come with that feature. So let's go ahead and dive in now and start talking about the differences between the docks. Alright, starting with the original, the one that came with the S7 MaxV Ultra. This is the original Ultra Dock right here. It's been on my channel. I have fully reviewed it. I'll leave a link to that video down in the description. And just for now, I'll go over some quick specs on it. The clean water tank on the original dock is 3 liters in size, while the dirty water tank is 2.5 liters. The dust bag, which sits under here, is 2.5 liters in size. Down here in the dock, we have the scrubbing mechanism that spins around and around, scrubbing the mopping pad as this mechanism right here slides back and forth. And that gives you the scrubbing action. Over here we have a dock drain filter. All of the debris that comes off of the mopping pad, there's a little wiper under here that cleans this surface, and this is a self-cleaning part of the dock. This wiper essentially wipes this dock tray and all the contents land in this filter over here. And Roborock was criticized a bit by this filter because there's 2 layers to it. It's hard to see here, but the bottom is solid. And it's very hard to clean anything between these 2 layers. There's no access. And so down below the dock drain filter, there's an area down here that you will also need to clean as it will get dirty. Now, I've already cleaned this. You can see some of the old dirt remnants down here. But this area you will need to clean. So even though Roborock calls this a self-cleaning dock, there is still lots to clean. The filter, below the filter, and you also need to remove the spinning brush from time to time. Pull it out in order to clean it because hair will get wrapped around it. And as you can see down here, you will need to scrub and clean up some of this as well. Not to mention, over on the left-hand side of the dock, it does get dirty over there too. So make sure you check that and wipe that down as well. Okay, now for the dock dryer. The S7 MaxV Ultra did not come with a drying mechanism to dry the mopping pads. You can buy this dock dryer module add-on kit for about $100 directly from Roborock, and it'll give you the ability to dry the mopping pads. I'll leave a link to the video in the description below where I went over how to install, set up, and I also tested the results of that. Alright, moving on to the next dock, which was just released this year for the S8 Pro Ultra. Roborock made several changes to this dock, in my opinion, to improve over the old design, and they got it pretty much so right with this dock. We now have an integrated dock dryer that not only dries the mopping pads, but it also dries the dock drain area, so you don't have water sitting down here for days trying to dry up. In addition to that, the self-cleaning system has been improved. There is now 2 wipers, where on the older dock, the wiper was in the very front. Roborock has added a second wiper here in the back. And what that basically does is it cuts down on the dirt and debris over in the back corner. I'll show you an example here on the screen where you can see that the wiper is more effective on the S8 Pro Ultra, as it is able to basically scrape more of the bottom base plate of the dock. Another difference that was made is with the dock drain filter. We now have the ability to separate these two parts and clean it. There's a bottom mesh on here to allow water to drain through. As you can see here, there's a clip where you can separate this and clean it out. And the final change is with increased sizes for both water tanks. The clean water tank has been increased 0.5 liters to 3.5 liters. And the dirty water tank has been increased 0.4 liters to 2.9 liters. The dust bag inside of here is the exact same 2.5 liters in size. And the newest addition from Roborock is the S7 Max Ultra, not to be confused with the S7 MaxV Ultra. The S7 Max Ultra was actually released after the S8 Pro Ultra, and this dock does look almost identical to the original one. That's because it is the same design, has the same size water tanks, same size dust bag. The improvements from the S8 Pro Ultra have made it over into this dock, though thankfully it does have the improved cleaning system with the dual wipers here. Also has a revised dock drain filter. Interestingly, all three of these filters are a different shape, so none of them are compatible with one another. But this one is the two-piece design. Instead of mesh on the bottom, we have just a plastic bottom here with some small holes in it to allow water to drain through. We also have integrated dryer system, which interestingly doesn't have the same hump over here as the S8 Pro Ultra dock. It is more integrated. Dock dryer here for the pad, and also it dries the drain area. And so this is identical to the updates and changes from the S8 Pro Ultra, except for the design changes, and it still has the smaller water tanks. In other videos, I have talked about Roborock's claim to the self-cleaning dock, and what my real thoughts are on it is that it is a partial self-cleaning dock. The only area that the Roborock Ultra Dock cleans is this base plate from here to here. And as you can see here on my S8 Pro Ultra, I've ended up getting something caught under there, and there's been some deep scratches. Now, I don't have the same thing on the other docks, so I'll just assume this is an anomaly. But I just wanted to point out that this is the self-cleaning area here. You still need to clean the filter, below the filter here, the roller brush, and up in the corner, back up in there where dirt will inevitably stay. So it is not a full self-cleaning dock, and I think Roborock realized that claiming that meant that people were maybe never ever cleaning these parts out. And so on the newest version of the dock, Roborock added this sticker here to the side of the newest dock from the S7 Max Ultra. And this sticker basically is reminding people that they need to clean their self-cleaning dock. So that brings me over here to the new QRevo dock. The QRevo, which is also released at the same time, or nearly the same time, as the S8 Pro Ultra and the S7 Max Ultra, is a totally different design than these other Ultra docks. It is more simplistic. It has larger water tanks and a larger dust bag. I have a full review out for this robot vacuum. I'll leave a link to that in the description below if you want to take a look at that. Very impressive results from the QRevo. But first, the water tank size on this for the clean water tank is 5 liters, which is like 40% larger than we have over here. The dirty water tank is also much larger at 4.2 liters. So big water tanks, that might be an advantage or disadvantage, because the more water you get in here, obviously the heavier it is and the harder it is to pick up and carry around. So keep that in mind. Also, we don't have the feature of a self-cleaning dock. That's because the dock design is very simplistic on the QRevo. You see, unlike the Ultra docks over here that are self-cleaning, the QRevo has no moving parts. The only thing there is this removable tray, which is actually an ingenious design. All the water stays in this tray and out of the dock, which means there's nothing in the dock to clean at all. As you can see, it's spotless back there. The water comes out of the dock and drips into these two channels here, which is picked up by the mopping pads, and that is what cleans the mopping pads. The wastewater is then sucked up by that white tube back there from this area right here, and then when the dock dryer comes on to dry the mopping pads, it also dries this wash sink as well, and it does a really good job of it. In fact, it does a good job cleaning the mopping pads and drying. So the only thing you need to clean is pull this one tray out, take it over to the sink, give it a wash, give it a quick scrub, and just simply slide it back in. Now that's actually easier, in my opinion, than the so-called self-cleaning system over here. So I wanted to point that difference out. The way the QRevo empties the internal contents of the robot's dustbin is through the dock in the back hole back there, which lines up to a hole on the back of the robot. For some reason, this hole over here is blocked off and there is nothing coming through that. So there's just one hole for pulling the contents out of the robot. This is different from the Ultra Docks, which pull the contents of the dustbin back through the roller brush and into the dock. So there is one additional difference with the QRevo. One last thing is the dust bag. In the QRevo, it is a little bit bigger than the Ultra Docks. It's 2.7 liters in size, where these are 2.5 liters. So you do get a little bit larger of a dust bag. The cover is held on by magnets. I like the way that is secured a lot better than this style cover. It was improved a bit on the S8 Pro Ultra. And that is the main differences with the QRevo dock. It has the same functionality as these, and obviously it is a lot less expensive. The main drawback I talked about in my review video is this dock does go through a good bit more water washing the mopping pads, and the robot uses more water on the floor. So just keep that in mind. You've got larger water tanks, but it does go through a bit more water. Okay, one thing quick to note before I wrap this video up is there is a plumbing module kit that you can buy for the original S7 MaxV. It replaces the dirty and clean water tanks up here and will allow you to hook the module up to your plumbing and your clean water tank, so you can drain out your sewer and also refill with your clean water. You will need to have the dock close to both of those outlets, but you can buy that. Would make this a little bit more maintenance free for you. I assume it'll fit the S7 Max, as it's really the same design water tanks, but I have not confirmed that. And obviously it won't fit this at all, as it is a completely different design. So if I have missed anything in the comparison, please drop that comment down below. Or if you have a question or would like to know something a little bit more about one of these docks, drop that down below. I'll be happy to answer it. I want to thank everybody for watching this video. If you haven't already, subscribe for more reviews just like this. Take it easy, everyone. Bye-bye.